Good morning. I'm your host, BKP, and welcome to BKP Politics. Another day, 14 days away. Is it just 2 weeks? Whatever it may be. It's Tuesday. Tuesday. And not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. Many of you will be going to the polls. Some of you are voting now in record numbers. I'm your host, BKP Politics, where we look in depth, look at a little bit of everything. Note out there, a little note to yourself. Do not Jeffrey Toobin while in the middle of a Zoom meeting. Just saying. Just saying. Hold off on you, Jeffrey Toobin, while, is that his name? While in the middle of a Zoom meeting. Hold that for later. Woo! What a way to go. What ended your career? Well, my name is Dick Morris, and not only am I known for a little toe sucking from time to time, I called Mitt Romney in a landslide on Fox News. I was so certain of it. And when he lost, I lost my job. Well, Jeffrey, you're in the group, in the support group here of what caused the end of your career. I was in a Zoom meeting. Whew, we'll leave it there. Anyhow, we have a lot to go over today. This morning, we're going to have a guest. You have seen her on the All-Star Political Panel several times. She's a regular on the show. Sometimes she takes a little hiatus, and then she does 2 or 3 weeks. But many of you might know Joeen DePlanke. She is from the All-Star Political Panel. And last week, she did a detailed, in-depth timeline of what's going on with the Bidens and how corrupt they're corrupt. She is going to be with us at 8:30. She's going to go over more of that timeline and some things she has put together. And we're also going to publish her work today. She has put a lot, there's about 5 pages of notes that we will publish today, but we're only going to get to scratch the surface at 8:30 this morning, but she will be with us. Now, here's something you ought to think about, or here's something to think about. I want to take a little, just a fraction of the pressure off Hunter Biden and shift it over to Joe. Because what I want to be clear here is Joe is the real criminal. Okay? He is the real criminal. Okay? He exists. All right. Now, I'm going to say this for the Democrats. You might want to look away because you get all worked up over this. The hard drive is real. Number 5. Give me number 5. Now, I know you're out there trying to run cover for Joe Biden, your candidate. I understand that. And this is not an October surprise. It's not like the Republicans just found this out. We've known for God knows how long that Biden's corrupt. There's so many accounts in this book here long before the hard drive, okay? Documents appear to show Hunter Biden's signature on $85 receipt for repair of laptops left in Delaware store at the center of email scandal, while other paperwork reveals FBI's contact with owner. The hard drive is real. So for those of you saying, well, if the New York Post article was a big deal, why did nobody sign their name to it? Okay, save that. Well, what they did is they sent this false information to the cloud, then downloaded it on this laptop, and then used this guy to pretend like, oh, look what I found, a laptop. And really, it's a Russian disinformation story. I get it. I understand you're trying to run cover for your candidate 2 weeks out. I understand that. I mean, you're going to win, trying to win at all costs. I got it. But it's real. But here's the thing, okay? Democrats look away. You can't take this. This was on the hard drive. Give me number 1, okay? Give me number 2. Give me number 3. And then give me number 4. All right? Take that down because I don't want to leave it up there for the Democrats to go crazy over. Does that look like a bank CEO to you? Does it? You know, it looks like a poor guy with a problem. I'm really serious, okay? I want to say it looks like a poor guy, a guy with a real serious problem. And what kind of dad is fronting him as a bank CEO or a board on the board of directors of a bank, or making a deal with the Chinese government for investment? Does that look like a gas company board of directors, one of the board of directors of a gas? Does it? Does it? See, here's the thing, and Joanne's going to point this out this morning. I want to be clear. Let me look in the camera. Joe Biden is corrupt. Now, I'm not telling you that Hunter Biden did not do corrupt things for his dad. Think about your dad putting you in a position. You have an addiction, crack, okay? And it's a serious, you have an addiction and you're battling this and you're trying to get through this, but your dad uses you as a bag man while you have an addiction, a drug problem. You are discharged, was it the Navy? I don't know, a branch of the military, because you have a drug problem. But yet your dad uses you as a bag man. Hunter is the tip. He's being used by his father. Joe, the candidate, is corrupt. Bag corrupt, okay? And I can hear you yelling, well, there's Republicans that are corrupt. But let me tell you something. Donald Trump wins re-election. Joe doesn't go down on his own, and it's not just going to be people with D in front of their names. Okay? This is going to be a two-sided corruption scandal that hopefully will be brought down in this country. So we're going to talk about that, all right? I just think it's terrible that, you know, we keep hearing Hunter Biden, and I understand that. And where is Hunter? Okay? I get that. But let's not forget, Hunter Biden is not the only avenue, not the only tool, not the only source that Joe used to rake in millions of dollars through corrupt means. Here's something we're going to talk about, and we got a great morning ahead of us. I am tired of hearing it spun this way. And I'm going to go into Pennsylvania. I've got my little picture. Give me number 29. I am so tired. Now listen to this very close. This smokes my damn ears. First of all, if you're new to the show, I will go into detail on another day after the election, but you are watching. I am not a George W. Bush fan. I'm not, okay? I am not a lockstep Republican. I can't get in the Republican lockstep when told to. So, George W., we'll get into it on another day, all right? But I am so tired, and I mean damn tired, of people, the news media, saying that John Roberts sided with the liberal members of the court. Excuse me, you might need to back away from the TV. Bullshit. I am tired of hearing John Roberts sided with liberal members of the court to have a 4-4 decision in the Pennsylvania case. No, he did not. John Roberts is a liberal. John Roberts is there's something there, okay? And I don't want to get all the conspiracy theory, hair on fire and wheels turning this morning, but you and I both know there's something. There's the old thing, they got something on John, because when necessary, When the chips are down, the deep state, there you go, Democrats' heads are spinning off now. The deep state can always count on John. Supreme Court of the United States of America, Pennsylvania ruling. Here's what happens. A lower court sided with the state of Pennsylvania, saying that we will take ballots in even if the postmark is a little smudged and we can't make it out. We can make our own decision. Yes, in Pennsylvania. So the Republican Party took it to the higher court, and Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Brett Kavanaugh, and Justice Neil Gorsuch sided with the Republican Party in their case, not just because they're the Republican Party, in their case to put a stop to this potential ballot fraud and corruption in Pennsylvania elections. But no. You have Elena Kagan, Justice Stephen Breyer, Justice Sotomayor, and Chief Justice John Roberts. They say, no. We accept Pennsylvania's corrupt attempt at fixing the election. And that's my opinion, and that's what I think will happen, because I'm going to show you why I feel that way. But Supreme Court allows PA to count votes. Now, what happens in a 4-4 court is it gets sent back, and whatever the ruling in the lower court, whatever that ruling is, it stands. So Roberts, I just want to be clear, I am so damn tired of hearing Robert sides, John Roberts sides with liberal justices on the court. No, folks, he didn't side with them. He's one of them. All right. We will talk about this at 9 o'clock, but I'm going to show you something here. I had it in my, should I say I had it in my formerly nicotine-stained fingers, and that's Rush Limbaugh, and we wish Rush well. Not very good news in the report he got. Not very good news with the report he got from his doctor yesterday. Give me number 10. Go from this one to number 10. Give me number 10. Officials. Nearly 29,000 Allegheny County voters received incorrect ballot, new ones being mailed out. A newly corrected ballots will have 2 words, corrected ballot, on the envelope. So where is Allegheny County, and why is that important? Allegheny County is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Allegheny County is predominantly Democrat. Now, Allegheny County, there's more fear in Pittsburgh for Donald Trump voters than there are in Philadelphia. Let me just set this up for you, okay? Although Pittsburgh's a liberal city, okay? There's still some steelheads out there, I guess, but there's still a union base. There's still some strong union base out there. There's some very deep Catholic roots, ethnic roots, Italians. I mean, Pittsburgh, there's a possibility that in Allegheny County, Trump could do well. Now, wait a minute. I'm not telling you that Allegheny County is flipped and now they're a Republican county or conservative or they're going to go for Trump. But there's a stronger possibility that Allegheny County, you got Beaver around there, you got Moon Township, where Trump held a massive rally out there at the Pittsburgh airport. You have surrounding areas, Latrobe, Oil City, Johnstown, where he held. And he's going to go up to Erie today. Is it Erie where he's going to be? Somewhere in Pennsylvania. But anyhow, there's a possibility that Allegheny County could come in stronger than expected for Trump. Then Philadelphia. 29,000 ballots went out wrong there. New ballots are going out, the corrected ballots. Now there's going to be enough time to make sure The corrected ballots get mailed out and they can get mailed back in. And judge says, hey, if we get them in up to 3 days after, I forget how long, I'll pull it up in a minute, after the election. See, what's big here is the postmark can be in question. It can be in question. Now, I've said this on this show so many times. If disputed ballots, so let's say Pennsylvania discards 100,000 mail-in ballots because they think they're not postmarked correctly or something like that. Let's say they discard 100,000 ballots, okay, disqualify them. And Trump wins by 60,000 votes. Guess what? The legal challenge will be up there saying there's enough disqualified ballots to shift the outcome of the race. So we need to open them and count them and make a decision through the courts. I mean, everything's about to take place. I have said to you, I'm not concerned with voter suppression. Okay? I'm not. People are voting in record numbers. It's enormous. We'll go through that. I'm concerned with result suppression, not voter suppression. Election result suppression will be real. Pennsylvania got dealt a blow in the Trump campaign yesterday. Yesterday, the debate, there was a debate. We'll talk about this in the 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock hour. But put up this, look, put up number 50. Kelly, you can't go on a debate and cry about your hair and makeup. I don't have time to go. She goes on there yesterday and she's she was reading from a teleprompter, okay, number one, all right? Most of these candidates, and I'm not for sure, Warnock, Collins just comes ready to debate. He can answer a question. Ask me a question, I'll answer it. I have been around the guy. It doesn't matter where he's at. There doesn't need to be a teleprompter. You can just stop him, ask him a question. He's going to answer it, okay? And he's got something ready to go. She goes on yesterday and literally cries about the college campaign. You have talked about my hair, my makeup. You have called me a Barbie, whatever. Stop your damn boo-hooing. Quit boo-hooing. Because I'm telling you, they are in desperation mode. They are in trouble. Big trouble. Loeffler is. How would you like to have on your resume as her campaign manager if they lose? Okay? What was your last job, sir? Well, I am now unemployed. Do you still have that, do you get that extra $600? I need that because, it was just yesterday I was making $1 million and I need that little $600 bump. Why are you unemployed? Well, my last job, I was running Kelly Loeffler's campaign and we lost. And now I'm on the unemployment line. And I can't get work because everybody I show, my resume to says you ran Loeffler's campaign and you had an unlimited amount of money to spend. She owns the New York Stock Exchange and you lost. Listen, all the welfare recipients, I'm going to say this and get out of here. All the welfare recipients, if Doug Collins wins this and pulls it out and goes into the next phase in a runoff against Warnock, the welfare recipients that I've said 4 times, you're out there saying quit. It's humorous. I don't know how through funneling it through this person and funneling it through this nonprofit and funneling it here. I don't know how she's done it, but she has a bigger entourage than MC Hammer. Remember MC Hammer's entourage? That's who Kelly reminds me of. And they all bow to the princess. And if Princess loses, I wonder if she gets a refund. Just saying. Maybe her husband can throw another $5 million in the campaign, Maybe that'll help her. I will say this, and I want to move out. If you ever notice with Kelly Loeffler, she talks about her 100% rating from the NRA. She doesn't talk about the guns she owns. What she's telling you is her campaign staff knew how to fit, not NRA, I won't say, or whatever, maybe it's NRA, all right? But Second Amendment. What she's telling you is her campaign staff knew how to fill out the paperwork to get her an A rating for Second Amendment. She doesn't talk about her guns. No, she doesn't talk about guns in a way that you get to feel, that she really supports your Second Amendment. She talks about it. I have a 100% or an A rating with the NRA. Okay. Also, listen to another thing she talks about. She talks about, I have a 100% A rating with all right to life groups. Well, look, all right to life groups that you have 100% A rating with, Kelly, they have done very well financially this year. Just saying. You see, Kelly never talks about her personal reason or why she's pro-life. She can't go into the details of it. All she can tell you is that she filled out the questionnaire properly for pro-life organizations, and maybe a little money went into as a donation for pro-life organizations. But she can't tell the personal story. I'm going to say this to you. Have you ever heard Kelly Loeffler talk about children? She says, our future. Talk about children, the little crumb snatcher she probably doesn't want next to her. Does she ever talk about children? I don't know why she has kids and doesn't have kids. I don't know, and I'm not going to pass that judgment. I'm really not right here. You got it wrong if you go out there and say, but I don't know why she doesn't have children. I mean, I don't know why she didn't do a couple campaign commercials, with nieces, nephews, or throw the Christmas pictures where all the little Loefflers get together and open presents and, Santa Claus comes or something. I don't know why she didn't do that. But, just saying, she doesn't talk about children. She doesn't talk about her Christian values. That she doesn't have to have any. That's up to her. But she doesn't talk about her Christian values. She doesn't talk about her faith. Every single thing Kelly Loeffler recites, period, is what her campaign staff filled out for her. That's it. 100%, nothing else. Look, don't go on. Give me number 9. I'm not jumping into polls right now and saying all these polls are so correct, okay? Give me number 9 there. Here we go. Collins, Warnock. This is a new Emerson College poll. Collins, Warnock, 27. Loeffler, 20%. I'm going to read you a text message from somebody. I can't tell you who it is. Sorry to put it that way. Okay. But, sorry to put it that way. I just got something. I got an alert. My total endorsement for Congressman Doug Collins from the United States Senator from the great state of Georgia. God bless. The citizens of Georgia need the forged by fire leadership of Doug Collins in the United States. Full endorsement, General Flynn. General Michael Flynn has endorsed Congressman Doug Collins. Sorry, Kelly. Sidney Powell is endorsed. Sorry, Kelly. We got to start a little hashtag. Sorry, Kelly. Sorry, Kelly. Boo-hoo. She goes on there yesterday. The Collins campaign, they made fun. Oh, shit. Oh, excuse me. My God, I'm going off the rails. I've got a guest on in a minute. Got number 9? That's the polling. I want to do my impression. I was watching yesterday. I said, no, you didn't just do that. You're the wealthiest member of Congress. Number 50. The Collins campaign, they've made fun of my hair and my nails and my makeup and everything. They've just made fun of me all the time. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo, Kelly. Boo-hoo. General Flynn endorsed Congressman Collins. Boo-hoo. Sidney Powell. Boo-hoo. Mike Huckabee. Boo-hoo. Vernon Jones. I'm saying that he didn't. Play the tape. Boo-hoo. And here's a text I got yesterday from somebody. I cannot reveal this, but this is more powerful than you will realize. You're going to have to stick with me. I can't give you the name. I said to this individual, I said, let's see, I said, I said, the Lawfare campaign is showing signs of desperation. The answer back, it looks like a close race to me, but I'm giving Collins the edge because the rural base so far is already turning out heavily. If you look at the early numbers, check out georgiavotes.com if you haven't already. The edge is going to, and we better take a break. We're going to talk about Joe Biden. We're going to get into some details as soon as we return.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is more than just your average Ace. We have a huge selection of Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next trip. We have a huge selection of lumber for your next building project. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs. Plus, we have everything you'd expect like paint, tools, and equipment. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hey, folks, we're back. Emily, I'm your host, BKP. Welcome to BKP Politics. Emily, just keep your ear open. I can hear our guest very well. She can hear me. Just a little bit of roar in the background, but we'll power through it. Maybe a connection. Folks, my next guest, and let me just set some things up here. The Democrats are doing everything they can to tamp down what we have learned here recently. And what I mean by that, where Hunter Biden and his father, Joe Biden, is concerned, when I say what we've learned here recently, it's some things that's been revealed through a hard drive on a laptop that they continue to say is not real. But keep in mind, the Joe Biden campaign or Joe Biden, they're not denying this. They're not. The hard drive is real. We've talked about them saying this is a hack and dump. Facebook and Twitter have curtailed any sharing and froze accounts and deleted accounts because it goes under their guidelines of hack and dump. So if information has been hacked by somebody's computer and dumped, they don't want to be part of spreading it. That's not true. This is not a hack and dump. This is a hard drive that is real. The fact is that everybody is out there working simultaneously together to try to stop this story from coming out. The other thing I just brought up is, we're seeing pictures and we're hearing some pretty graphic, ugly stuff on Hunter Biden's computer. But what we want to be clear about this morning, Hunter Biden has gone through some things in his life and has dealt with a serious drug problem. Crack is a bad drug problem. I personally know people that cannot get off this, relapse every 8 months. I mean, if we went into detail this morning, we'd be talking about what it does to the brain and the stimulants that make somebody want to come back and use it, like methamphetamines. But anyhow, the sad part of this is Hunter was used by Joe Biden, the candidate for president of the United States. And my next guest, you know her from the All-Star Political Panel on Fridays. Can you bring that picture up? And this past Friday, Joeen did a very good job highlighting. There's a picture of this past week. Bruce was gone, and there's myself, Jane, Rick, and there's Joeen on the end there with us this past week. Joeen DePlanke has been on the All-Star Political Panel several times over the years, but she's also a major part of BKP Politics research team. And several of you out there, when I tell you I can't do this, I have things to do. I can't do this in the course of the day without you, because you're the ones that get the information together and you work so hard. This is someone right here that I'm talking to on a daily basis. And let me welcome Joeen DePlanke. Joeen, welcome in. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, Brian.
Are you okay that I just revealed you as part of the BKP Politics research team? Is that okay that I just outed you?
Well, I guess if it isn't, it's a little late to say so now. But also, when you've given me some of these assignments, I get so wrapped up in them, because the more I learn and the more I delve and the more I dig, the more disgusted I get at some of the people we have in government. And this is a perfect example.
Go ahead. You said you wanted to talk about, you said you want to take about a minute and a half and lay some things out that you wanted to read to set up our conversation. So go ahead and take that time now.
Okay. All right. Well, so since some of the people that are listening today may not have seen the Friday show, I was just going to quickly go through Hunter and Joe Biden, some of their deals before we get to Burisma. And when I left off Friday, I was going to start off this coming Friday or today with Burisma. But when Hunter was in his late 20s and 30s, that's when apparently Senator Biden at the time realized that he could make good use of his son. And one of the first examples was, Hunter was receiving really large consulting fees from MasterCard, MBNA, which is the largest credit card company. And so Senator Biden voted against requiring credit card companies to provide warnings about the perils of making only minimum monthly payments. He was only one of 5 Democrats to do so. Everybody else in the Congress voted to pass this bill. Then, since he was doing really well lobbying, Hunter became a lobbyist, and it was his job to target earmarks to Biden's office where they were added to bills. And this generated millions of dollars for Biden's pet project. I mean, millions and millions. And the Senate got wise and passed an ethics bill that required senators to verify that they or their families would not benefit from these earmarks. Hunter immediately left the lobbying game. And then he became vice president. And that's when the real opportunities began, because now Hunter had Air Force Two for transportation, the Vice President of the United States as introduction, and taxpayer dollars as seed money. And so he and 2 of his Yale buddies, Devin Archer and Chris Hines, which is John Kerry's stepson, who was Secretary of State, created Rosemont Seneca Partners in partnership with Rosemont Capital. And if anybody ever watches CNBC, you know who Rosemont Capital is. So Hunter and the vice president flew to China on Air Force Two while Joe was dealing with some really serious things with the Chinese government. And even though Hunter and Joe both said they did no business in China, Rosemont Seneca announced a $1.5 billion deal with the Chinese government, okay, also known as the Bank of China. But as you pointed out Friday, it's not like the Bank of America, which is a private bank with stockholders. The Bank of China is the Chinese government.
Yeah, you're actually, you leave with money from the Bank of China. You are leaving with money from the Chinese government, period.
Right. So now the son of the U.S. vice president is in business with the government of China. Private citizens and U.S. companies cannot do business with a foreign government. And this was a communist government, all right? Now, keep in mind how big the Bank of China is. They established a company, I think it was called BHR, and they put Hunter Biden on the board of directors. Now, Hunter has no experience or education in finance or mergers and acquisitions or anything that would qualify him for that position. But then, now they started buying up American companies with military connections. They also bought up a nuclear power company. Then they bought Henniges Technology, and this is important because it had military contracts. So the U.S. government had to approve that purchase. But the committee that had to approve it was made up of Obama-Biden administration officials. So guess that got through pretty quickly. But now this is the one that bothers me really kind of the most. And that is Hunter and his friends then created Rosemont Realty. And they struck a deal again with the Chinese government-connected company. And Rosemont Realty bought up commercial real estate properties around the U.S. for China. Now, Hunter also had no experience or training in real estate. But I was trying to think, if I had a commercial piece of property and some Chinese company wanted to buy it, I probably wouldn't. I really am opposed to communist China owning part of the United States. But I would have sold it to a company called Rosemont Realty. I mean, how did I know that was China?
Yeah, China used them as a front, because you're 100% right. If you walk in and I own a shopping center and you walk in and say, we're the Chinese government, you might say, I don't want to sell anything to the Chinese government. But as you said, who is the person making an offer? Well, Rosemont, investments, realty or investments. And weren't they out of New Mexico or something like that? But anyhow, I think they,
Southwest, yes.
Yeah, they set up. So, I mean, everything that could look like there's no outside interference or dealing with the Chinese government was in place. And that's what they needed. They needed a front, and Rosemont Realty Investments provided that for the Chinese government.
And Joe Biden, the Vice President of the United States, enabled Hunter to be the front man for communist China, to buy our companies, to buy military companies, to buy real estate all across this country with no compunction. It didn't bother them at all, just money, money, money. And why people can't see this, it is so clear. There are so many.
I tell you why. And I know you're on. I know you're on a direction, but you're going to be able to answer this. I'll tell you why, because you just said something that strikes right at the answer to the question. You said, I don't know why people can't see this. Because I'm going to tell you, we need to switch gears for a reason. Not to. I want you to go on with the things you have, but because the reason they can't see this is, what have we done for 10 minutes or the last 8 or 9 minutes? We've talked about what Joe knowingly allowed his son Hunter to do. So don't take this wrong, but if you're listening here or anywhere else that may be reporting the story, you get the feeling like, okay, Hunter's a bad kid. What's that got to do with Joe? So realistically, I think why people can't see this is we need to switch the narrative, Joeen. And I know you know that too. Joe's the bad guy here. Now, Hunter did bad things, but Joe is the bad guy. The guy that's running for president is the bad guy. And when they made these deals, they kicked the money up to Papa or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. In fact, you said he allowed him to do. That, I think, is the wrong word.
Okay.
He enabled him.
Exactly.
Okay. He created all of this and stuck Hunter in the middle, as you said earlier, the bag man. So now we move on to Burisma. In 2014, as lucrative and generous as China was to Hunter, in 2014, he broadened his sphere to include Kazakhstan, Russia, and Ukraine, which all proved to be even much more lucrative than China, if you can believe that. So he started with Ukraine because of the oil and natural gas. And Burisma, this was a huge natural gas producer with deep political ties. They were really intertwined with the whole Ukrainian government. So get this, on April 15th of 2014, Burisma deposited $112,000 into a Rosemont, remember Rosemont Realty? Okay,
yes.
Rosemont and Rosemont Seneca bank account marked C/O Devin Archer. Now, I didn't go into all those names, but Devin Archer was Hunter's partner in almost all of these deals. He went to Yale with him.
Also connected to John Kerry.
Well, that was Chris Hines.
Well, Chris Hines, but Devin Archer's connected to John Kerry too. We'll back up on that later.
Yes, right. So the very next day after that money was deposited, on April 16th of 2014, Devin Archer made a private visit to the White House to meet with Joe Biden. 6 days later, on April 22nd, it was announced that Archer was...
Wait. So a deposit's made, Devin Archer, and then did you say after that, 6 days later, he went to meet with Joe Biden?
No, 1 day later.
I mean, 1 day later. 1 day later, he went to meet. The deposit's made on 1 day. The next day, he goes to meet with Joe Biden, the Vice President of the United States. I wonder if he was carrying a bag lunch. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. 6 days later, on the 22nd of April, it was announced that Archer was joining the board of directors of Burisma. And then on May 13th, which is 2 weeks later, Hunter Biden joined the same board. But that's not all. Then Mitt Romney's top advisor, Joseph Cofer Black, joined the same board. That's 3 Americans on some obscure, in the middle of nowhere, Ukraine, okay? This is the largest natural gas company in Ukraine. And they all were paid a staggering $1 million a year.
Wait a minute. Wasn't the CEO of the gas company, I'm going to say banished? Wasn't he run out of Ukraine?
Well, I'm going to get to that. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So while these guys were being put on the board, Ukraine had started investigating the founder, which is Joel Seletsky or whatever you say. But these 3 guys were getting $83,333 a month, and none of them had any background or experience in the energy sector, or knew anything even about Ukraine. I mean, it's and so then on April 21st, which was the day before Archer's official announcement, Vice President Biden landed in Kiev for meetings with the Ukrainian officials, and he brought with him terms for U.S. Agency for International Development, which is who my mother used to work for, program to assist the Ukrainian natural gas industry. Now, all this time, they were investigating this Zalewski, okay, because so now it's 2016, February of 2016, so this is right before the election, right? Ukrainian authorities seized all of Zalewski's property, and he fled the country.
Right.
Okay. The authorities then seized all of Burisma's gas wells. So Hunter used his contacts in Washington to help Zalewski with his corruption case. And Burisma hired former DOJ lawyer, Obama DOJ lawyer, John Barretta. All right. So now we're using Hunter and Biden and whatever for the legal team and whatever. Barretta in September met directly with the prosecutors with express purpose of getting the charges dropped. Miraculously, they were dropped. It only cost $1 billion in U.S. taxpayer money. Okay, the U.S. taxpayer dollars were paid to Ukraine. So also in September, under pressure from Biden, Joe Biden, vice president, still vice president, Ukrainian officials fired the prosecutor who was investigating Burisma.
And Biden brags about that on video, brags about it.
He bragged about
He's
that.
gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
I'm leaving in 6 hours. Jack, if you
fired by threatening to withhold the $1 billion
exactly
aid to Ukraine. So we go give them $1 billion. They fire the prosecutor. Burisma and everybody is happy, and so Joe and them are still getting all of their money. Okay. Then in January of 2017, this is right before Trump is sworn in, Air Force Two lands south of Kiev. This is Joe's last foreign trip as VP. And under Biden's direction, the Obama administration poured some $3 billion more into the country. Just 4 days before Biden arrived, Burisma announced that the Ukrainian prosecutors had ended the criminal investigations into Burisma and its founders. You know, I mean, like, what a coincidence, right? Another $3 billion, and then everything went away. $3 billion U.S. dollars from U.S. taxpayers. With $3 billion, we know we could do another stimulus check. Anyway, moving right along, if you look at Hunter Biden also had a Morgan Stanley account while Joe was vice president. And I'll just go through some of these. I don't know if you have it up on the screen. But in April 2014, all of a sudden 142,500 comes from Kazakh. I think that's for Kazakhstan. It's a region in Kazakhstan. An oligarch-controlled Novartis Holdings. Novartis, I think, is that medical thing. But all of a sudden, 142,500 went into Hunter Biden's account. In August of 2014, 1.2 million arrived from an anonymous LLC via a small Swiss bank called BSI SA. And in 2016, BSI was part of an embezzlement and money laundering investigation spanning 10 countries with at least $4.2 billion in irregular transactions. So, but Hunter Biden's getting money through that Swiss bank that's part of this big embezzlement thing of 10 countries and $4.2 billion. We know he got $1.2 million. We don't know how much more because a lot of it is so couched in fake names and everything that you can't trace it all back. Then in August of 2015, 150,000 was transferred into this account, controlled by MFTCG Holdings LLC Biden. I couldn't figure out which Biden, but does it really matter? I mean, the money just gets moved. It gets moved so many times. If you could see how much went through Latvia, which they don't have any way to disclose the records there. So if you get accounts in Latvia, you can then move the stuff anywhere.
Let me
Then
say.
during
Go ahead.
a court trial, because they were sued different times, Devon Archer described a financial relationship with Russian oligarch Yelena Baturina. Archer said Baturina invested over $200 million into various investment funds Archer and Hunter were involved with. So this is some big Russian person, $200 million, and they make investments. So they're probably buying up, probably could have been Rosemont Realty buying properties in the U.S. for Russia. Then there's this company called M. Bloom. This is more theft of taxpayer money. This is a perfect example of what they were doing over and over. This was a joint venture that Hunter and Devon Archer set up in Hawaii. It was a public-private partnership, therefore that's how they could get money from federal funds. Hunter's firm invested $5 million, but the other half came from HSBC. Where did HSBC get the money? It came from a program in Washington, D.C. called the Treasury Department State Small Business Credit Initiative. What a long name. Which was run by a longtime Biden aide named Don Graves. So I guess it was easy to get approved, right? So this company, this Treasury Department program, put $5 million into Hunter's thing. This Don Graves, was he a loyal person to Biden? I'd say so. I mean, over the years, he served as the counselor to Vice President Biden, his domestic and economic policy director, and his traveling chief of staff. And after he left the White House, he put Graves to the policy board of the Biden Institute. Okay, so I see how easy it was. You put your friends in charge of these programs, and then he was dishing out the money to Hunter and Archer.
Two areas I want to get into before we close this morning, because for people out there, I watch the media, and the media spins this like the president's attacking the Biden family, the poor Biden family. The president calls them the Biden crime family. And I think Joe has a brother named James. And supposedly James is not even a builder and never has been around the construction industry. But James ended up with $1 billion contract out there in Iraq.
That's another great example.
See, give us a couple examples, Joanna, why the president calls them the Biden crime family. He ought to say and friends. So highlight some other things that happen that just don't have Hunter's name attached to it.
Okay, yeah, because see, all the deals weren't funneled through Hunter. Okay, he used so many longtime friends and major contributors to generate billions for himself and his family. One great example that you just touched on was Hillstone International. Okay, they created that. It was a construction firm created in 2010, so he was vice president, as a subsidiary of Hill International, which is a huge international construction company, which was founded by also a longtime Biden friend, Irv Richter. And that was formed back in 1976 when he was Senator Biden, okay? Anyway, the president of Hillstone was Kevin Justice, which was another longtime Biden family friend, and especially he was really good friends with Hunter and Beau. So, November 4th, 2010, Justice visited the VP office in the White House. 3 weeks later, all of a sudden, Hillstone announces that Joe's brother James would be joining Hillstone as executive VP. James had no background in housing, construction, real estate, anything. Hillstone then started negotiations to win a massive contract in war-torn Iraq. Okay, 6 months later, they had a contract to build 100,000 homes, part of a $35 billion contract. Hillstone then received, on top of that, a $22 million U.S. federal government contract to manage a construction project for the State Department. Now remember, this company hasn't ever done any real estate, but they can get the $22 million contract to manage some construction project. David Richter, that's the son of the original guy, whatever his name was.
Irv
Irv Richter.
Yeah.
David was his son, and he explained Hillstone's success in securing government contracts. I mean, on Fox News. He said it really helps to have the brother of the vice president as a partner. I mean, duh. Anyway, over the next 3 years, Hillstone generated $1.5 billion in revenues, and that was like 3 times what they normally make, okay? And a group of minority partners, including James Biden, split $735 million. I mean, that's a nice little payday, isn't it?
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Then the last one that I'll mention, because there's so many, we could talk all day. Okay. There was a Delaware car dealer and a huge contributor over the years to all of Joe Biden's different campaign coffers, and a good friend, John Hynansky. Okay. In 2009, Vice President Biden was in Kiev again, in Ukraine. Before a large crowd, he introduced his very good friend and prominent businessman from Delaware. Now, to these people in Ukraine, like, who cares, right? But anyway, Hynansky wanted to expand his car business in Ukraine. Like, huh? I mean, like, how about expanding it in Florida? But anyway, after that speech, the federal government, now here's another one of these little funds that you can get money from, Overseas Private Investment Corporation. This is a organization within our federal government, Overseas Private Investment Corporation, announced it was providing Hynansky's company with a $20 million loan so that he could grow his import dealership in Ukraine. Now, that would be nice if he was going to import Fords and Chevrolets and whatever so we could build more cars in the United States. Okay, but the loan was to expand, and it was all totally documented. It's not like this was a secret. The loan specifically stated it was to expand Winter Import, which is a dealership in Ukraine, okay, to construct 2 new state-of-the-art dealerships in Ukraine for Porsche and Land Rover Jaguar, and all the cars to be sold in Ukraine would be coming from Europe. Not one car was going to be coming from America. This created no American jobs.
Joanne, I refuse to let you come on the show and just do that, because Joe Biden is swearing he's going to bring jobs back to Michigan,
right,
to auto manufacturers. Oh, listen.
But all of this
go ahead.
U.S. taxpayer money. And then one final thing for James. When James then, remember he's involved with Hynansky and all these other people.
Right.
When James federal tax lien placed on the Biden bungalow, remember, Biden owns all kinds of homes. He still lives in his little, modest home in
the one the media shows, Modest Joe.
Yes, right, Modest Joe, right. Well, anyway, the Biden bungalow in Keewaydin Island, Florida, which is massive, they put a lien on it. The IRS put a tax lien for $590,000, so they don't even pay their taxes. Plus a $74,700 lien by a contractor, so they don't even pay the little guy either.
Let's say this. Go ahead.
He miraculously received a mortgage for $900,000 from an obscure Delaware entity called 1018 PL LLC, and guess who owns that? John Hynansky. I mean, it is so intertwined. It is so corrupt. I could go on. We could talk for all
right,
day.
But I will tell you this. I want to close with this. I got a couple minutes, running a little long, but I do want to close with this because this is important. Again, people out there listening need to understand that the money, this is not favors Joe's doing for the family. The money gets kicked up to Joe. Joe is the bad guy. Now, the media wants to lead you to believe that Joe's a nice guy. If you notice, Cindy McCain comes out, they talk about nice guy. Everybody says Joe's got to be the nicest guy they ever met. Joe is a flat-out criminal in my book, and hopefully in a court of law, in the court one day. But Joe's the bad guy here, Joanne. There are a lot of bad actors. I get that. But tell people can you describe shortly how they get the money, but James, the brother, Hunter, all of them have to kick it up. That's just like the mob. You got to kick up to the top. Explain how they kick it up to Papa Joe.
Well, I mean, all of this money buys things. You know, I mean, they don't give a whole lot of cash actually to Biden, but he has accounts, I'm sure, offshore. There are investments that some obscure company owns that's really, you know, for his use or whatever. But everything, you know, all of his trips, I mean, the whole family spent Thanksgiving down there at that Key Wadden Island place in Florida, 2013. I mean, there must have been 100 Biden people there. I mean, all of that gets paid for. James pays for it, but you know, it's Joe Biden's party. But what I'm saying is the money goes to Hunter and Bo and James and Frank and whatever. But they spend it on his behalf.
Right. Joe, it's Joe's money. Joe gets it kicked up through shell companies and offshore and purchases that are made. I got it. Joey, it's 9:03. I've got to go. I can't thank you enough, and I know we can keep on for the next hour, and we will plan to get more of this research out. I'd like to get more out of what's going on with the hard drive and some things like that. Maybe change the focus next time. If not, later this week, first of next week, or maybe on the panel this Friday. So I appreciate that. You've got 1 minute other than this to say what you want about the president, campaign, whatever. It can't be about this. Take a minute, say what you want before we close.
I just think that if people would look at the accomplishments that President Trump has made, and you can't get that on any mainstream news. It doesn't matter what he does. It is never reported. So if you don't read his tweets and you don't listen to something like Fetch Your News, you aren't going to find out what's really going on. But the thing is that the deep state doesn't care normally who gets elected. It's like Mitt Romney and Obama. Okay, they both were the same people. The deep state didn't care which one of them was elected because they could control either one. John Kerry and Bush 43, they both were, the same Yale skull and bones thing. That nobody cared whether Kerry won or Bush. They could control both. When Trump came out of nowhere, they didn't know what to do because he's not beholden to anyone. And it's funny that Sarah Guthrie or somebody keeps trying to say that he's beholden to, whoever he owes this money to. I mean, the amount of loans on all of his billions in holdings are insignificant, okay? And he certainly has the real estate to back them. But they can control him, and he's able to do what's best for the people. He's able to negotiate contracts that are best for us, whereas all these other players, when they get somebody that's part of the establishment, the swamp, they can control them. They aren't going to change any deal we have with other countries because those people are benefiting from it. I don't know who the deep state is. It scares me to death, but the best fresh of air, the best thing that ever happened to the United States was Donald Trump getting elected, and I hope to God we give him 4 more years because then, since he doesn't have to run for re-election, he can fix the rest of the things.
Thank you. That's it. That's a little more than a minute. At least I didn't hit the mute button on you like the debate thing they're going to do Thursday night. I didn't hit your mute button.
Okay.
Joanne, Thank you so much for your research, and you have a nice day, folks. Joanne DePlanke, she will be with us Friday on the All-Star panel. Everything we talked about, we've got it here, and we will be publishing all of this research. All of the research we will be publishing today on FetchYourNews.com. Got to remember, Joe Biden is the bad guy here. Trump, $400 million. We don't know who it's owed to. That's ridiculous. There's financial disclosures that Trump says, and you know it out there that you could go research and look at. And we got to see the tax returns. All right. So, right. Joanne, you have a nice day. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Okay. Bye.
Chevrolet, Blaze gets it done. If you want big Chevy discounts, Days Chevrolet in Jasper gets it done with savings of $8,000 on new Chevy Equinox or up to $10,000 savings off new Silverado crew cabs. We're big on discounts and even bigger on customer service. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys always cost less.
Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done.
Find new roads.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done.
Why is Truck Month bigger at Days Chevrolet in Jasper? It's our massive Days discounts, like up to $10,000 off new Silverado crew cabs or up to $7,000 off new Chevy Equinox. Bigger selection, bigger savings. Truck Month is just plain bigger at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevy trucks always cost less.
Days Chevrolet, Days gets it done.
Find new roads.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, 1 nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is more than just your average Ace. We have a huge selection of Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next trip. We have a huge selection of lumber for your next building project. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs. Plus, we have everything you'd expect like paint, tools, and equipment.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hey, folks, we're back. I understand you're going to run defense all day long, but the laptop belongs to Hunter, friends. It belongs to Hunter. The corruption is documented. You got to do what you got to do. I understand you're the desperation. So let's see. Just looking at some stuff there. I saw something from Greg Bluestein. Now, let's go through, first of all, number 11. Now, this, if it goes across the top of the screen or whatever you have to do, or I don't care. That's good. That's good. Wednesday, and he's going to be all over, but Wednesday, October 21st at 9:45. Now, I'm going to go tomorrow. Obviously, I have met Georgia House Speaker David Ralston, and I have met Congressman Doug Collins, and don't take that wrong. Not that I wouldn't go say hello to them, but I'm going to go down because I want to meet George Papadopoulos. Yes. George Papadopoulos will be with Congressman Doug Collins, and David Ralston will be with Congressman Doug Collins on the bus tour. They will be at Appalachian Gun and Pawn and Range there in Jasper at 9:45 in the morning. And then tomorrow at 11:30 a.m., they will be in Ellijay, right there on Industrial Drive, and then at 1:45 they will be in Blue Ridge downtown at the City Park there in Blue Ridge. George Papadopoulos and Congressman Doug Collins. That's the tour tomorrow. I will be there. Can't wait to meet Mr. George Papadopoulos. No, not Papa Giorgio. I know what you're thinking. Every time I hear George Papadopoulos, I think of family vacation. Sorry. So that will be tomorrow, Doug Collins. That's the bus tour that they're on, and you can come by and meet them and get a picture with them. Now, yesterday, before I get into the last 30 minutes and we talk about our president, and I will, in Pennsylvania, and, the deep state media, before we get into that, Emerson College polling released some data yesterday, new polling, number 7. Now, they're saying that Trump and Biden are 48-47 in Georgia. And the question here, I want to answer the question for those that ask me this in other states. Is Georgia that tight? So if you're out there anywhere outside of Georgia this morning and you're tuning in, Pennsylvania, Michigan, out west, Texas, never know. But if you're tuning in and you're wondering, is Georgia that tight? We're concerned. Don't forget, there's a couple things here. The ground game of Stacey Abrams and Fair Fight and Eric Holder and Barack Obama and Oprah Winfrey, but the ground game that they put in place is enormous because they worked very hard, and whether you like it or not, hard work is hard work. They worked very hard to get themselves in position to try to sway the state house, the state senate for redistricting. Let me tell you something. We don't talk enough about redistricting. Georgia may get another congressional seat. The growth in Georgia, we went to 14 districts in the last census. Georgia may go to another district. I mean, the 9th district, as we talk about in Georgia, the 9th congressional district, okay, we ended up with the 14th. Remember, the 14th is the new district, Tom Graves, which retired. That split the 9th. So in 2012, Congressman Doug Collins was running for the new 9th district, which opened up. That's right. So it's very possible we see another shift where you're at in the 9th district, because I would say the majority of the population has again moved to the north of Atlanta. Why do you think the Braves came north of Atlanta? Okay. So I say that's the largest population shift was north of Atlanta. So we don't know, but just getting there. Is Georgia this tight in the presidential election? Well, generally, if David Perdue's not on the ballot, and generally, if, we don't have this jungle primary and another Senate on the ballot. Georgia has 2 Senate seats. And normally, if you don't have the 6th district and the 7th district of Georgia, along with others, you would not have as much money poured into this state. But Democrats have flooded the state of Georgia with money because they think they could take David Perdue out. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to probably get some people not very happy with me on the Republican side. David Perdue, when's the last time you've heard David Perdue on this show? Think about it. Is it because we don't invite him? No. We never hear back from his press people. When is the last time you seen something on the internet that said, David Perdue is going to make 4 stops, one in Blue Ridge, one in Gainesville, one in Dahlonega, and one in Habersham County? When's the last time? Right? I'm just picking a couple places. So I'm just saying David Perdue is up against Jon Ossoff, which has name recognition, because he ran against Karen Handel in the 6th district, the most expensive special election. You remember when Price, former HHS secretary, Price left the seat open. Handel won it, the most expensive special election or congressional election in history. But Ossoff got name recognition out of that. Now he's running for Senate against David Perdue. So they poured the money in. Now Democrats think they can flip the Senate. They think that your leader could soon be Chuck Schumer. I mean, fear the thought of Schumer being the next Senate Majority Leader. That's who it could be. So they think they can flip the Senate. They think they can flip it right here in Georgia. So take that off the table. Now they got Reverend Warnock, right? They think if they take out Collins and Loeffler, or they take out each other, that they can win that seat. Then you take Karen Bordeaux or whatever her name is Bordeaux, up in the 7th district. She has name recognition. Rod Woodall retired, Republican in the 7th, retired. He didn't even run last time. He put no effort into it. And it was the closest election. Georgia 7th was the closest congressional election in a seat in the United States. I think it's separated by 500 votes or something. You look it up. Well, you got Rich McCormick running against Bordeaux that has, I think that's her name, that has a lot of money poured in. They think they can flip the 7th in Georgia blue. And they want to hold Lucy McBath's seat against Karen Handel in the 6th. So when you look at this poll on the screen and you say, is Georgia that close? It is close. This will not be the number election night. It will not be the results 48-47. But always remember out there, if you're in fear of election being that close, let me show you your number 8. Now, this is the Emerson College poll. This shows Perdue 46, Ossoff 45. Now, Shane Hazel is the Libertarian candidate here. And Georgia could end up, if you're out there, you want to pay attention to this. This is why they're pouring the money in here. Georgia could end up with 2 runoff Senate races. Absolutely, folks. Because Shane Hazel, the Libertarian, you have to get 50% plus 1 vote. Just one more person. Boom. Okay? In Georgia. You could actually be on November 4th, because we will probably know on November 3rd, maybe, but you could, or the next day, but you could actually be, after November, we could actually be in Georgia, have 2 runoffs, 2 at the same time. Purdue and Ossoff again, because Shane Hazel, they could run again to a runoff if the Libertarian candidate pushes it below 50%. And you could have Warnock, the Democrat, and you could have Warnock and Collins or Loeffler, okay? Number 9, here's why Kelly is crying this morning. (27-27) and Loeffler showing 20. Okay. And yesterday, I just want to go through these quickly. Yesterday, it aired yesterday at 3:00. I didn't go into too many of the details. Here's number 50. This is Kelly Loeffler yesterday in the Loudermilk Young debate series. Greg, let me just say this: I've not said the most flattering things about Greg Bluestein, but he's okay. I'm going to give him an okay today. He's okay. He's got a job to do. He's okay. All right. Greg's okay. Number 50. Here's Kelly. There she is crying. Now, they made fun of my hair, my nails. Here's Doug, number 51 yesterday. Here's Greg, number 52, one of your moderators yesterday. He did, for this to be a virtual debate, he did a great job. Here's 53, one more Kelly and her poor hair and makeup crying. I had to show that. I don't want to go to the next one yet. Then you got number 55, Matt Lieberman. Raphael Warnock, number 55. Now, Raphael would not answer questions about the tax plan. He wants to give people a living wage. He avoided the tax question. Won't answer the tax question on the $400,000. Well, Raphael, let me just say this. 50, is it 50 or 50? 50 Cent. Okay, the rapper 50 Cent, whatever he is, 2 quarters, I don't know. The rapper 50 Cent, he endorsed President Trump because he looked at that $400K and he's like, man, Biden going to take all my money, going to take all the brothers' money. All right, Warnock, you need to look at that, okay? Anyhow, he wouldn't answer that. He would not answer that question. So that's Reverend Raphael Warnock. Would not answer his comments concerning thugs, calling police officers thugs. And then you have, this is the candidate right here, number 58, Ed Tarvin. And what they did is they pulled the candidates that were I think polling 3% or over. This is Ed Tarvin, the Democrat. He was there. That was number 58. 58. Show me him. That's Ed Tarvin. All right. Did I not send you 58? Am I frozen or? There he is, 58. I'm sorry. Okay, there's Ed Tarvin. Thank you. Go to 57. Now this is Brian Slowinski. Okay, Brian Slowinski. I like the guy. He's not a Democrat, Republican. I think he's running Libertarian. I'm not 100%. Okay, but Brian Slowinski was very good yesterday. I'll tell you what I like is he was a pro-life Democrat that switched over to a Tea Party movement, was the chair of a Tea Party. He was a pro-life Democrat. Keep in mind, there's no room for pro-life in the Democrat Party. Brian Slowinski, he did a good job in the debate. And then let me go to Matt Lieberman. And I'm going to leave Matt Lieberman, Joe Lieberman's son, up for just a minute because I want to give you one more thing, and then we're going to go to a break and wrap up our pictures of the day. We do have a lot still to go over, but Matt Lieberman had the best closing statement of all of the candidates yesterday. That's number 54. I'm sorry if I didn't call for it. Number 54, Matt Lieberman. He said, don't vote for any of these three stooges. Don't vote for any of these three stooges. Warnock, Collins, or Loeffler. Now, I'm not calling those three stooges. He did. Matt Lieberman said, don't vote for any of these three stooges that are bought off, paid for by, lobbyists in Washington, D.C. or whatever. I'm going to say this. Matt Lieberman was questioned yesterday for giving campaign money to Republicans and supporting Republicans that he called moderate Republicans. If a Republican ran against Matt Lieberman, okay, in the runoff, I think they would have a much tougher road ahead of them to victory. Their path to victory. This is Joe Lieberman's son. He can brag about that. He can brag about Joe Lieberman, friend of John McCain. Joe Lieberman that spoke at the Republican convention. Joe Lieberman that almost became McCain's running mate. Whether you agree with any of these things or not, it's all politics, folks. I think his pathway would be stronger against Loeffler or Collins and then Warnock. But here's the good news in a runoff for, let's say, Collins wins. He could continue to run to the right very hard to energize his base to come back and vote. So he does not have to go to the center or to the left, and that would be a mistake on his part if he does in a runoff. If he goes center or left, like a general election. All right. Let's take a break. We're going to come back. We got a lot to talk about before we finish some recent polling. And CNN, those bastards. Oh, excuse me. I didn't say that. Well, maybe the president called them bastards yesterday. We'll talk about that. Take a break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is more than just your average Ace. We have a huge selection of Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next trip. We have a huge selection of lumber for your next building project. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs. Plus, we have everything you'd expect like paint, tools, and equipment.
Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Folks, BKP here. BKP Politics. Don't miss it. Every day, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10. On Friday, we do the All-Star Political Panel. BKP Politics, glad to be back. Let's go over a couple things before we close this morning. Election night coverage. You know what I call it? Election night suppression. Election results suppression is what I call it, not voter suppression. Election night vote suppression. Results. That's what I think will happen. But we will be there from 8 to midnight. We're going to have a great panel assembled to talk about these races. Okay, we're focusing in. We've got a decision desk. We're going to have a lot of graphics we're going to work with. We're going to show you where a lot of things stand. I'm going to look you in the camera and tell you Fox is going to bullshit you. MSNBC is going to bullshit you. CNN's going to bullshit you. I can't say that 3 times in a row, but let me go. ABC, CBS, let's put them all in a row. They're all going to bullshit you, and they're going to all touch their fancy screens, and they're going to say this many white people in the exit voting and this many suburban women and this many. They're all going to be bull crap, okay? I'm telling you, they all are. They are. They're not. They're going to suppress this result like you will not believe. So I'm going to tell you candidly, we will get you the results election night. The others are going to BS you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying they are. I don't know how many results you will have election night. I'm going to be honest. But Fox is going to swear they're going to have it. You're going to be watching Fox and MSNBC 4 days later. It's going to be now I could say things that I shouldn't say. So anyhow, there you go. That's election night coverage. Don't miss that. 8 to 12 midnight with your host. Great panel and going to be a great show that night. Now, there's the one thing I have often said, and I do say I don't endorse candidates. I get attacked left and right over Doug Collins, and you're feeling that I endorse the congressman here on this show. By the way, Congressman Doug Collins will be on the show here tomorrow at 8 a.m. Okay. He was just endorsed by General Michael Flynn. But I want you to remember something, okay? It's always been that Brian Kemp picked Kelly Loeffler on the last hour of the last day, that the window was open to submit your resume to All right, what happened? We back? Okay. We can put the $50 million towards you in the reelection, or we can we can use it to fight Collins. There's two things I want you to remember when you go vote. All right? Give me the picture number 1. No, not number 1. Sorry. That's not the one I want. I apologize. Number 66. Give me number 66. That is Senator Kelly Loeffler walking out of the Trump rally. Just remember that, okay? Now play the video right there, what that picture represents. Listen to the President of the United States in the background still talking. Go ahead and play that.
We will strongly protect Medicare and Social Security, and we will always protect patients with pre-existing.
Can you run that again? It froze up. Can you run that again?
We will strongly protect Medicare and Social Security, and we will always protect patients with pre-existing.
Just remember, she walked out on your president. She will walk out on your president if elected. She will not stand by your president to the end. Symbolism, you want to call it. She will not stand by President Trump to the end. That's what she really thinks of your president. She walked out. So I just wanted to go over that. Now, we got another video. A friend of ours from the show, she will not come back on. I'm not going to go into detail. She has sent me a message. It didn't say I don't want to be on your show, but it almost said I don't want to be on your show, but it didn't say I don't want to be on your show. This person, she even got shut down Sunday. And this is just an example of one of the Kelly Loeffler surrogates that's out there still saying Collins needs to get out of the race. Really? Watch Lori Gary on the Georgia gang shut her down. Okay. Janelle King on Sunday. Watch how fast this happens. Let's play that really quick there at 14 minutes.
On this poll trend, let's talk about Senate race number 2. Raphael Warnock at 41%, according to the Quinnipiac poll, followed by Doug Collins, and then, of course, incumbent Republican Kelly Loeffler. You are honorary co-chair of her campaign. How do you interpret these numbers between Collins and Loeffler?
So I interpret it as another reason why we need to see Collins back out, and this is why, because when you combine the numbers, that will put the Republicans ahead. That's
not going to happen. Okay, so let's talk about these numbers and why they're so close. We know that Collins is not going to drop out, so let's be realistic and talk about the numbers. Why are they so close with so much money being spent by the Loeffler campaign and all of the PACs for her?
So I don't work for the Collins campaign. I can't tell you why or where their funding is coming from, what they're doing with their funding. What I'm saying is the reason why I feel as though this is a huge issue for us is because of the fact that it's going to come down to dollars at the end of the day. So like I said, I don't trust polls in general. So I can't speak on where these polls are coming from. But I will say that, Senator Loeffler has been leading him in numerous polls that prior to this. So at the end of the day, I'm looking at the dollars because we have a lot of Republican candidates who are struggling financially. So when we have candidate Senator Loeffler who can fund her own campaign, I think that puts her in a better position to go up against Warnock, who's getting money just loaded up on him, and it's going to continue to happen as we go into the runoff.
So Theron, let me ask you, because something that is a possibility that we haven't...
It comes down to the dollars. Did you hear that? Now, Janelle seems to be too busy at this time to be on our show. It comes down to the dollars. They are in desperation. Lori Gary had to shut her down. No, Collins is not good. Don't sell that. Don't sell that. Just forget that, okay? Let's get realistic. Collins is not getting out of the race. In fact, you got a couple polls here that Collins is up on Loeffler, okay? Oh, it comes down to the dollars. So once again, self-funding, really? Okay, so anyhow, this is what they want you to believe on the polls this morning. Let's go through some quick pictures. They want you to believe this. This is on MSNBC, number 46. Then they want you to believe the matchup in Pennsylvania. Ipsos Reuters, number 63. Is that? I don't know what I called for. 64. I think I did. Okay, 64. My apology. 64. There you go. And then let's go to 63. Pennsylvania. This is what they're saying the matchup is today. And number 62, the matchup in Wisconsin. Now, folks, you want me to believe that a man for 47 years, 47-year career, has to take 4 days off, really, 4 days off, to prepare for a debate that's already set up in his favor, okay? The lady name escapes me right now, NBC, it's already set up in Biden's favor. They're putting the mute button in, all the above, but he has to take 4 days off. I think he's really in the basement with his attorneys, and he's saying, you got to be careful not to answer this way or that way to have it come back on you. I think they're trying to figure out what to do with their attorneys. Here is the morning cast to try to get him over the hump here, drag him over. Number 61, like to always show you the group they assemble. Number 60, Joe Scarborough there. Number 59, they're tired of the pandemic. Let's run through. Let's get to number 49, okay. Crowds at Trump campaign rallies violate state restrictions on public gatherings. This is what they got. This is what they got. Kelly O'Donnell, number 49. Listen to this, okay? Will you authorize your doctors to tell us when you tested negative last before the last event? He's like, that's what's important to you. That's what's important to you. Just think, they're running with, Trump called CNN bastards, said you dumb bastards. He said, you're the criminal. You're the criminal, okay? You are a criminal for not reporting it. He looks there and says, this is what's important to you. When I tested negative, you have Hunter Biden's hard drive. You have Joe Biden dead to rights. Excuse me for using the expression. This is what's important to you. You have Joe Biden hiding in the basement for 4 days. He will not campaign. This is it. I'm going to give a shout out for Martha McSally, number 47. Okay? Number 47, Martha McSally. I'm going to give a shout out. She's there with the president. running for Senate in Arizona against Kelly. Mark Kelly is his name. Gabby Gifford's husband that will take your guns. So Martha McSally is with the president, so you get my shout out. Jeff Mason, your campaign strategy seems to be to call Biden a criminal. That's not a campaign strategy, damn it. Biden's a criminal. Just read, folks. Well, I know Republicans that are criminals. Yes, you are correct. Republicans are criminals too. I get it. Biden's a crook. He's running for president. Well, the guy out there he's crooked. Okay, all right, already. Jeff Mason, your campaign strategy seems to be to call Biden a criminal. Why is that? You're the one. You're the criminal for not reporting it. And I do agree. For those that just do not like what I'm saying, well, I thought you were freedom of speech. I thought you were freedom of the press. You would actually put journalists in jails. These people are not journalists, damn it. They're complicit in a crime. Number 46, will debate changes prevent a debacle? A debacle. Joe and his debacle. Because he's such a nice guy. They want to say that Trump wanted to fire Fauci. I don't give a rat's ass about firing him. Fauci responded, don't care. Number 39, okay. Crowds at Trump campaign again violate state restrictions. Let me see here. Debate Commission, number 35, CNN. Okay. Now, yesterday, Debate Commission adds mute button to Trump-Biden face-off. Supposedly, when they get the 2 minutes to answer a question, they are going to mute the other candidate so the candidate gets to answer the full question for 2 minutes. And then supposedly they will not use the mute button during open discussion time. We'll see, okay? But yesterday, he called CNN, you dumb bastards, okay? CNN does nothing but dedicate their program to trying to put fear in you over COVID. COVID this, COVID that. COVID 24/7 with CNN. They won't shut the hell up, okay? Number 34, Debate Commission adds mute button to Trump-Biden face-off. Number 31, Supreme Court rejects PA GOP request to cut off mail-in voting. Now, that includes, they're going to be able to look at these ballots. I think it's 3 days after, okay? 3 days after the voting. But here's the thing. Election day is election day. And they want to say if you go over and drop, and let me use this example, and let's not get sidetracked or convolute the story here, but I'll never forget, okay? In major cities or in areas, is it April 15th is tax deadline day? It got moved this year on account of coronavirus. Thanksgiving, no turkey, no yams, whatever, coronavirus. Santa Claus's fat ass is going to be stuck in one chimney in Brooklyn, and he ain't going to get to go anywhere else because the chimney in Brooklyn, as de Blasio says, he can't go because he's got to be quarantined. You feel like Santa Claus is going to have his ass quarantined in Brooklyn because he just flew in from somewhere else. So they're going to have to quarantine his ass for 14 days. So it'd be like the election results. We're not going to find out what the hell you're getting for Christmas till mid-January, till he gets through all the quarantines. And damn Rudolph with that nose so bright. Oh, hell, that's a pretty good sitcom I got going there. Anyhow, let me get back to whatever the hell I was talking about. What was I talking about? Oh, tax day. There's always, let me see. I do have a point here. There's always the post office that's open till midnight. Why? So you can get that midnight postmark, that stamp that it's midnight, right? So you don't get penalties and fines and whatever for filing late. So as long as the IRS gets that envelope 8-10 days later, it doesn't matter. As long as it's got that stamp that says April 15th, it counts. And that is the premise, and I'm telling you, that they're using, okay? So as long as you have that postmark by Election Day, they're trying to say if it gets lost in the mail and you find it 6 months later, your vote should count. And I say that jokingly, but it's the postmark that says it's Election Day. And if it's the next day, you did not vote on Election Day. Well, Pennsylvania now is going to allow, let's go to 29, okay? 29, they're going to allow to count the ballots over and above Election Day. If postmarked by Election Day, but if it's smeared, like if I can't make this out, I gotta count it. Even if they can authenticate the postmark, or accidentally one went through the sorter and there's no postmark at all, but it's there in the mail. Who's to say that person wasn't there on Election Day? It's going to be a mess, folks. Here it is, Supreme Court of the United States. I am tired of hearing. I want to say this as some of my last comments. Number 29, you will hear all day long that Chief Justice John Roberts sided with the liberal members of the court. Bull. He did not. He is a liberal member of the court and made a 4-4 decision, as you can see this, which sent the decision back to the lower court. Number 27. Now, CNN, I'm just going to show you, you dumb bastards, on CNN. They do nothing but Fauci. Give me 26. Trump focuses on attacks on Dr. Fauci, not COVID. All right. Look at even when they have number 25, president's recent travel. Trump focuses on Fauci, not COVID. That's all they look at. This number 24. I can show you all day long. It's just 2:08 in the morning. They don't shut up. Coronavirus in the United States, people hospitalized, one right after another major blitz. I don't have time to talk about the registration. Republicans have outpaced registration in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Florida, several states, which they're looking for maybe to be a big bump for Republicans in those states. Let me see what else I have here. I know it's 10 o'clock. I just want to make sure there's something I didn't miss. Oh, let's just say this for tomorrow. One more time, number 11, and we'll close tomorrow. Appalachian Gun and Pawn at 9:45, Piedmont Community Center on Industrial Boulevard in Ellijay at 11:30, 145 Blue Ridge City Park, and in Calhoun, BB&T Park in Calhoun at I don't see the 4:15. And that is with George Papadopoulos tomorrow. We'll be with Congressman Doug Collins. General Michael Flynn has endorsed Congressman Doug Collins. Georgia House Speaker David Ralston will be with Congressman Doug Collins tomorrow. And our guest at 8 a.m. in the morning will be Congressman Doug Collins. You have a nice day. We're going to take off. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.